On television and in movies you have these zombies. And in Men in Black you have this cockroach zombie. But those are fake, because there's no such thing as zombies. Or are there? Well, there are such things as zombie cockroaches, but these roaches do not turn into zombies after being bit and are then needed to be killed by Rick Grimes and Carl Papa. Instead, these roaches are injected with a parasitic venom that leaves them in a zombified state. And the culprit behind the zombification venom is none other than the jewel wasp. Now, the first point of attack for the wasp is to inject venom into the roach's central nervous system. Now, what this does is temporarily paralyzes its front legs. This temporary paralysis allows the wasp enough time to pierce into the roach's brain to inject more venom, which then puts them into the zombified state. Now, the reason the wasp venom can paralyze the roach is because it restricts dopamine, which is used to regulate movement and sensation. So now all this stinging has left the wasp weak, so what it does next is it cuts off one of the roach's antennas and drinks its blood for energy. You know, like a fucking psychopath. You know, I guess in a way it is kind of like Red Bull. That is, of course, if Red Bull was made by Hannibal Lecter. Now the next thing that it does is it leads the zombified roach by its remaining antenna, not the one that they savagely sawed off, but the remaining one. They lead it into a nest. Now at this point you're probably wondering what the F is going on here. Is it going to kill the roach? Is it going to torture it? Is it going to use it as its sex slave? Well, maybe you weren't wondering about the last part. Or, you know, maybe you were. It's okay, we're in a safe environment here. We all have our own fetishes. Yours may be a sex bug slave, but you know, it's okay. But if you count sex slave as taking an egg from an ovary and sticking it into a still alive zombie roach, then yes, sex slave is the correct answer. You see, in many cases when there's a murderer, it's usually a man. But in this case, with a wasp, it's a woman, and she's using this zombie roach as a source of food for her newborns. What she does next is she barricades its entrance in order to trap the roach in there with her egg. And when this egg hatches, what the baby wasp then does is digs its way into the roach, who, by the way, is still alive, and it eats its way from the inside out, starting with the internal organs in a precise fashion that allows them to keep the roach alive for the entire process until the very last moment. You see, the main reason that they do this is because roach meat turns bad very quickly once the roach is dead. And also because, like their mother, they're a total bitch. After a month of slow murder, the baby wasp then emerges from the nest, a literal natural born killer. So yeah, pretty f***ed up, huh? This is what you should think of next time you see a roach. And then you should smash it flat and put that poor bastard out of the future misery of becoming a jewel wasp amniotic bitch. And that's all for today, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember to do things. Goodbye. But it... Hello? This is Chase. Yeah, sure.